We will call the public safety meeting for the city of Hudson in order on October 9th, and I will have a roll call, please.
Alderperson Hall.
Here.
Alderperson Morse.
Here.
Alderperson Wakefield.
Here.
And the number 3 on the agenda is the public comments. Comments can be taken from the public if you have any item that is not on the agenda. And we have a few folks, so if this is the time you want to come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Nicholas Kramer, 50 Meadowlark. Public Safety Committee, it is my understanding that members of this committee have asked the chief to brief you on how the department utilizes the Flock AI system in our community and on our streets. Before that presentation, I would like to raise several critical points that help dispel some common misconceptions about citizens' right to privacy while in public. First, I want to emphasize my deep respect for Chief Willem and the work the Hudson Police Department does in our community. My opposition to the use of Flock is in no way a criticism of the chief himself or our brave officers. The fact of the matter is that today we have found ourselves treading in constitutionally muddy waters, and we must take a tactical pause and reassess an appropriate path forward. You might hear proponents of Flock say that you do not have an expectation of privacy in public. That statement is derived from the 1967 case of Katz v. United States. In actuality, Katz guarantees us the privacy from the government that Flock intrudes upon. In Katz, the court states a person does not surrender all Fourth Amendment protection by venturing into the public sphere. To the contrary, what one seeks to preserve as private, even in an area accessible to the public, may be constitutionally protected. Katz then established the two-pronged Katz test. Did that individual have a subjective expectation that their conduct was private, and is that expectation one that society is prepared to recognize as reasonable? Flock runs afoul of the second prong of the Katz test through a few key Supreme Court decisions. In Jones v. United States, and more recently through Carpenter, the court ruled that individuals have a reasonable expectation of privacy in the whole of their physical movements. Remember, Flock cameras log exact dates, times, GPS locations, and details of your travel over extended periods of time. Therefore, society has recognized that this would be an unreasonable search and therefore a Fourth Amendment violation. United States versus Jones, the court stated, since GPS monitoring of a vehicle tracks every movement a person makes in that vehicle, the concurring justices concluded that longer-term GPS monitoring in investigations of most offenses impinges on expectations of privacy, regardless whether those movements were disclosed to the public at large or not. Again, that is exactly what Flock is doing in practice. Through a network of cameras across Hudson, your GPS locations are being cataloged for days, weeks, and months. That is precisely the type of long-term monitoring that the court has said constitutes an unreasonable search and a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Furthermore, in Carpenter, the court stated prior to the digital age, law enforcement might have pursued a suspect for a brief stretch, but doing so for any extended period of time was difficult and costly and therefore rarely undertaken. For that reason, society's expectation, recall those words from the Katz test, has been that law enforcement agents and others would not and simply could not secretly monitor and catalog the movements of an individual's car for a very long period of time. If you can recall, the second prong of the Katz test is that expectation one that society is prepared to recognize as reasonable. The answer through Carpenter, through Jones, and countless other cases is unequivocally no. The people of Hudson and those who travel through it are entitled to the privacy that Flock intrudes upon. Although Carpenter's ruling was focused on the warrantless use of cell phone data in tracking the whereabouts of individuals, the court's opinion stated this case is not about using a phone or a person's movement at a particular time. It is about a detailed chronicle of a person's physical presence compiled every day, every moment, over several years. I would remind the committee we must consider where this technology is heading. Flock's planned NOVA upgrade would integrate highly sensitive personal information, such as social security numbers, credit histories, occupancy records, and addresses into its surveillance system. Even if you don't see that today, that is a trajectory of this technology, and it should alarm every member of this committee. The case law and the Supreme Court precedent couldn't be any more clear. This is an unlawful intrusion into the private lives of Hudson residents. This committee is obligated and must take the necessary action to protect our Fourth Amendment rights. Communities across the country are already taking that stand. Austin, Texas, Evanston, Oak Park, and other communities across the country have taken these cameras down, and I asked this committee to do the same. I know I mentioned at the last city council meeting, the one before this last one, these cameras are very expensive to the city. They run $2,500 to $3,000 a year for the subscription to Flock AI. And like I mentioned before, I'm tracking there's an $80,000 shortcoming in the budget this year. Here's your savings, right? We're killing two birds with one stone. We're securing the constitutional rights of our residents. We're saving money. We can give the money to the library. We all know that they could use it. We got to take action. I think over the last handful of meetings that I've spoke on this, I've made it pretty clear. The ball is rolling. These are going to be ruled unconstitutional. The Institute for Justice doesn't take cases they lose. In fact, they win about 80% of them. And being that a federal judge with the Norfolk system already ruled that that case can proceed, that there's constitutional grounds for that case, those odds are ever increasing. Once you see one, you'll see them everywhere. Little black cameras, they got a little solar panel on them, handful of batteries depending on where they're at. And it's quite disturbing knowing that every time you pass one of those, it's logging in. It's not at the fault of the police department. This is Flock AI, right? Like I mentioned before, Flock has spent tens of millions of dollars lobbying police departments to install these cameras because it grows their system and it's a value add for other departments and other private industries that subscribe to Flock. I mentioned before that this data isn't just used by Hudson Police Department. That data is shared with agencies across the country. It's shared with private companies in some cases. And it's being used in pretty unscrupulous ways. Every week it seems there's an article that's outlining how some department or some federal agency had misused these cameras, trying to find people suspected of getting abortions, trying to hunt down suspected wives or girlfriends of cheating. It's a very slippery slope. And the city of Hudson has an opportunity here to, like I mentioned before, build that wall before we get to the point where they're going to be ruled unconstitutional, and who knows what repercussions might come out of that. If any cases used Flock in their rulings, take action. Put it in front of the city council. We got to get these out of our city. That's all I got to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Nicholas. Anybody else care to have any comments from anything that's not on the agenda? Any further comments? Any further comments? Seeing none, we'll go to the rest of the agenda. Item 4, approval of the September 4th regular meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any corrections or revisions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion passes. I do want to say thank you for running that last month's meeting. I had a tooth pulled unexpectedly, and it was not very fun, so, but that's here nor there. Excuse me. Number 5, new business, St. Patrick's School's parent group event.
It's just an event that St. Patrick's School has every year during Halloween for their kids and families. They block off 4th Street between St. Croix and River for the safety of parents and kids to do a little Halloween event out in front of the school.
Any concerns?
Have never been any concerns. I don't have any concerns for this one.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion, any concerns from fire or EMS?
No concerns.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 5B, discussion possible action regarding updating ordinance 235 to include the prohibition of recreational ATV, UTV, and off-highway motorcycles.
So this problem kind of came to head this summer with a lot of 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old children getting these as gifts and cruising around on these things all over town, on sidewalks, through roads. We stopped one day cutting across 6 lanes of traffic on Carmichael Road. These are not e-bikes. These are fully electric motorbikes, right? There's no pedal assist. There's no motor assist. An e-bike is propulsion by pedals with an electric motor assist. Once the vehicle gets to 20 or 25 miles an hour, that motor shuts off. You can't go any faster than that unless you can pedal faster, which is fine. That's an e-bike. This is not an e-bike. There's no pedals. If they do have pedals, the pedals don't They don't cause the propulsion of the vehicle. It's 100% the electric motor. These vehicles are defined by the DNR as off-highway motorcycles. They're not designed for public roads. They don't have the lighting equipment. They don't have the turn signals. They don't have any of the registration. You're required to have a driver's license to operate these things. And it's clear why, right? They go to 45, 50 miles an hour, sometimes a little faster, depending on the size of the motor. And a 12-year-old obviously doesn't know the rules of the road to be operating, and that's why they don't have a driver's license. So it's very dangerous for everybody involved. We got multiple complaints all summer long on these vehicles, on the Dyke Road, on sidewalks, on bike paths, on trails, on the roads. Kids popping wheelies and driving recklessly. I don't think anybody here wants to start issuing 12-year-olds tickets for no valid driver's license and allow them to not get their driver's license until they're 18. A nice, easy way to combat this is to just make all these types of vehicles illegal in the city on public property. They want to buzz around their private property with it, go for it. But I don't think they have any business being on public property.
No, and I'm sure the committee's heard as many emails and phone calls as you have, or just in conversations. People are saying, what can be done? So this will address that. Will it also address those motorized skateboards?
This does not address the motorized skateboards. Motorized skateboards are considered play vehicles by state statute, and they are already addressed in statutes, play vehicles.
So what is the consequences of somebody on one of these bikes pulling someone that's on one of those? Are they both getting a ticket or potential?
Depends what they're doing.
Pulling really fast.
Pulling them
Yeah,
down, yeah, that would be a problem.
yeah, because they're doing that.
Right. And probably the operator of the vehicle would be the one in trouble, not the one being pulled.
Okay, at a 12-year-old, then you go back to the parents?
Well, a 12-year-old could get a municipal citation, but it's not a state citation that goes on their driving record and prevents them from getting a driver's license, right? It's not dissimilar from a truancy citation,
Okay,
right? Or disorderly conduct citation that a 14-year-old causing a disturbance at the school might cause. It's a municipal ordinance citation, it's not a state traffic citation, so therein lies the difference. It doesn't affect people's insurance premiums, it doesn't affect the individual's ability to obtain a driver's license or things like that.
and have you had conversations with your team, your officers, on how to address this issue going forward?
Yes, basically it's stop.
nightmare.
Yeah, basically it's stop the child, call the parent, have them come get them, and trying to explain the rules to them. Because nobody wants to issue a 12-year-old a ticket for no valid DL.
And that seems like the educational piece that I think we need to, I don't think any parent has purchased this with the understanding that it was what it, not knowing.
They purchased them as an easy way, a convenient way for their
Yes,
teenager or preteen to be able to
yes.
get from one place to another.
And so is there anything about having the department have an article or anything in the Star Observer or something that could not that this meeting isn't a barn burner of TV, but so that they can be, educated onto what this actually, that not knowing what the statute is.
Yep. And by the time we got this figured out, school was coming into session, right?
Okay.
And now, obviously, we've seen a dramatic decrease in issues with it. So we were going to wait until spring break time and start pushing that message.
Okay.
So that it's
Educational
fresh
piece, yep.
in people's minds.
In the meantime, unless you have comments,
Not yet.
in the meantime, I want to see this move forward as quickly as possible
Absolutely.
to inhibit the potential of a disaster happening.
Well, it just gives us an additional enforcement layer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And this ordinance covers what we're looking for.
It does.
Joyce?
I guess following up on what Lynn was asking about education, has there been anything on the police Facebook page? Or
Not yet, no.
Not yet, okay.
Nope, like I said, when we figured out the definitions to all these things and had our meetings with the DNR to figure out what these things were actually classified as, by that time it was late August, early September, school was coming into session, and the problem went almost down to zero.
So the students aren't driving these things to school?
No, and that was one of our concerns initially. So we educated our school resource officers
Okay.
and our day
That's the
shift
next
officers on it to pay attention for it, thinking a lot of these kids would be riding these things to school. That just hasn't happened.
Okay. So how are you utilizing the school resource officers? Are they getting the word out in the schools?
Yep.
Excellent.
Okay. Yeah, that's important. Thank
And
you.
we need to clearly identify between road use and sidewalk trail use, because would be illegal, basically.
Prohibited on all of those surfaces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
It's
those are all
legal,
public.
it's legal on your private property or on state trails if you have the proper registration and the proper safety
And
certification.
that's got to be made clear as well.
Yep.
So if they're 16 and they've got a driver's license, then they can drive on the state trails?
Yep,
Okay, but they can't, but if they're not, if they don't have a driver's license, they can't?
correct.
Okay,
Well, I think they can have, I'm not a DNR agent.
yeah,
I think they can have a safe operation permit, like you do with snowmobiles or
Okay.
ATVs, which allow you, I think, at like 14 to be able to operate on trails. But you have to have that certification and you have to register the vehicle through the DNR.
okay. Good to know, because I'm getting a lot of questions about this.
And this is ready to go, this,
Yeah, unless you guys
So
have
we
any
can send it to
changes that you
council.
found
okay.
or
Move to
any
approve.
additions you wanted.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Chiefs? Inspector? No? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We will send it to council. Number 6, informational items. Anybody have any informational items? All right,
Chief, were you going to give us information about the flock cameras?
Yep, I'll be sending out an email about that. I'm not going to address it in a public setting because I'm not going to talk about our specific law enforcement uses of technology in the public.
Okay.
Thank you.
number 7, the EMS Fire Department updates, and I'd like to welcome Mr. Peruka, our fire inspector, in the stead of Fire Chief Spillman.
Thank you.
You're welcome, welcome. Do you have a report for the fire department?
September numbers are attached to the agenda. None of those incidents were of any significance.
And what we were saying just before the meeting, how busy you are, increase in call volume?
So our volume is a little slow right now. Right now, it's trying to finish out our year with the rest of our inspections.
Excellent. Any questions for Inspector?
Is the firefighter that was injured in Somerset last night okay? Have you heard anything about that?
I don't know anything about that.
Maybe John does. Trend, no?
I wouldn't be able to talk about it if I did.
Yeah.
HIPAA.
It's true.
Never mind, we'll start over. Are you, is that all, Mr. Peruka?
Yes.
Chief John, what do you have from EMS update?
I handed out the September report for EMS calls in the city of Hudson. We saw a decrease in calls in September compared to last year. Not an issue, not concerning. September typically is a little bit a slower month for us. Other than that, everything is on track with what we expect. I see I did not correct this, but I had talked about for the last couple of months how I've been seeing an increase in our response times. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I discovered what the issue was. And the issue was a report that I had created probably 6 months ago to put everything all into one report instead of doing multiple reports to pull the data, just kind of being lazy. And last week I was running some reports for another city, and I right away saw a discrepancy. And when I looked at that report, so the numbers that I've been showing you for the last 6 months have been all of our responses, not just the emergency responses. So I corrected that on this report. I didn't do it on the front. I forgot on the front. But the back report that you see on here has the corrected data. So if you're looking at old reports that I had given you and the numbers are different, that's the reason why. So these have been corrected. They're back to what we've been seeing since we've been providing service here.
Quite a decrease from
Glad you
August.
found that.
Yeah.
That makes much more sense now.
Yeah, and it was funny too, because one of the other things I found is there was a number of calls that were actually in the township. And, you know, it was easy to find because most of our calls in the city are less than 6 miles away. And I was seeing 8 miles, 9 miles, 11 miles, and I'm like, it's not the city of Hudson. It's coming from the base. So that stuff's been corrected, but it's just an ongoing, you got to keep watching what you're doing. So other than that, nothing else to report for EMS.
CAD dispatch.
Oh, yeah, I knew you'd bring that up. I don't have any updates. I wasn't able to get a hold of Terry today to see what he knows. I did talk to Alina. It sounds like there's some technology issues. I don't know where those issues lie, if it's a Tri-Tech issue or a Central Square issue, or if it's on the county. Alina's claiming it's not their issue, so I don't know what's going on.
At some point, the city's gonna ask for a refund.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
we'll get-
that's what I brought up today is this just every month I keep getting the same answer. You know,
Because
we're
2
having-
months ago, it was
September, they were
It
gonna
was
have it up.
September was supposed to be
They're
in
gonna doing
place, correct?
testing. Yeah, that's what Terry told me, so
Well,
I think-
that's really disappointing,
I
since
think-
it's been
maybe.
same story
um,
over and over.
Maybe someone from this committee and myself could meet with Terry and just,
set it up, I'll
kinda
be
get
more than
the-
happy.
yeah, and include Central Square in that meeting too, so we can hear the facts.
With all this new technology and AI and all this stuff, we're still running into that kind of a problem and that kind of money we spent.
Yeah,
Well, it's got to work, it's worked other places, so it's not like this is some brand-new system.
right.
I know, we're not trying to shoot the messenger, but
No, I know, I'm fine with, I got thick skin, so. I mean, we're just as frustrated, because it's gonna help us.
Yeah,
So we want it as much as they want it, and I know Alina wants it because it's gonna benefit them in River Falls as well. So, and the county, there's no reason why they wouldn't want it, because it's one less phone call that they have to make.
yeah.
It's gonna simplify their life and make their workload much smoother, so I don't know where the issue is,
But it's time to start putting the pressure on. So
yeah.
reach out to me and
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
Sounds
Even
good,
if the mayor has to get involved, or at least the city administrator as well.
sounds good.
Okay.
We'll make that happen.
Any other questions for Chief John?
no, I mean, I appreciate that you are staying on top of this, and I know it seems like we're kind of firing at you, but,
No,
You
I
know,
don't take it
it's-
that way,
okay.
not at all.
Thanks, John. Chief Willem?
September calls for service are attached. You'll notice, just like the rest of the agencies, a little bit of a dip in calls for service for that month, which is, like the other agencies, pretty standard for the month of September. We're still on pace to have over 25,000 calls for service this year, which is a record-breaking year. We've had 3 officers leave our agency to go work for the city of Woodbury. We are in the process of refilling those positions, so application portion of that closed last Friday. We're in the process of scheduling the PT testing and our interviews with us and the Police and Fire Commission. Those will happen the 3rd and 4th week of October. So beginning of November, we should start backgrounds on those individuals, and we should have some
Bless you.
people. We should have some people on board right after the first of the year to,
What was the number of
Off running.
applicants you received?
I'm sorry?
Number of applicants?
We had 18 applicants.
Oh, that's good.
That's,
It's a little better.
it's a little bit better. I think the last time we had about 14 or 15, something like that. It's a far cry from the 120 we'd get 20 years ago, and still a far cry from the 50 or 60 we'd get, 5 years ago, so.
Have we run into any backfilling issues or shift coverage issues that anybody's backing up besides the sheriff?
No, we just had a a shift pick. We do 2 shift picks a year, so people can pick what shift they want to work twice a year. So we were able to, it kind of worked out okay because we eliminated a couple overlap shifts and eliminated a day car position because there's plenty of us there during the day. Eliminated the overlap shifts, so our standard day shift, afternoon, and midnight shifts are to where they need to be.
Okay.
And then we still have the supervisors out, so it's not a huge impact at this time of year. When summertime rolls around, if it was like that, it'd be a big problem.
Yeah, and that's what I want us to be aware of. If you hit a critical situation, level of service interruption, you gotta let us know ASAP.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank
Any questions? Did they start on the new building?
Oh, yeah, they started on the new building 4 weeks ago? The first,
Demo started after Labor Day, so that was.
yeah, it was the Tuesday after Labor Day that demo started.
Okay.
I think this week, they are completing demo. By the end of this week, demo will be complete. They'll start to put walls up and things next week and start running new plumbing, fire suppression, new wiring, all that stuff. So once they start actually putting pieces back, because it's pretty, I don't know if anybody saw the building before it was demoed. They had the different rooms and the mezzanines and the offices and things like that. It's completely ripped out. All it is walls and the beams holding things up. Everything is out of there. So it looks eerie when you walk in there. It's like, it's just a big barn, right? But I'll start taking progress photos every week here once they start putting things back together.
That'd be great to see.
And I'll be able to share those as future
Maybe a
updates.
monthly update, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Yep.
great.
So it's moving along. The schedule is still currently on track for March 2026 move-in, so.
Okay,
Fantastic.
thanks, Jim.
Yep.
Melanie, you got anything?
Oh, sure.
Any items for our future agenda? No?
I guess I would like to have the CAD update with, if we're going to set up a time to get feedback from that.
Okay.
I don't know if we can put that on the agenda without doing that first, but,
It typically just fall under his
Yeah,
unless
okay.
you want to keep, well, unless we meet, then I'll put it on the
Okay,
agenda as a
sounds
separate
good.
discussion item.
sounds good.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.